This is a review of topic 3.6, unit 3. It's about finding the equation of sinusoidal curve. Uh, so we should know the basic sine curve. Basic sine curve is like this, right? Because it will be helpful for us eventually. B is the easiest thing to find because B is 2 pi over period. And what is the period that we can easily find? It starts from here and it goes all the way till this point. So this is obviously one cycle. So 3 pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2 is 2 pi over 2, which is just pi. So B is 2 pi over period is pi, which is 2. So B is 2. Okay, now A is going to be, in fact, absolute value of A is going to be the maximum value minus minimum value divided by 2. What is the maximum value? That's 2. Minimum value is -4. So 2 minus -4 over 2, which is 6 over 2, which is 3. Absolute value of A is 3. And likewise, D is going to be, which is the midline, because A is the amplitude, right? And we already know the formula for the amplitude. That's what I just used. And D is the midline. And for midline, the formula is maximum plus minimum divided by 2. The maximum is 2, minimum is -4 divided by 2, so that's -1. Now the question is, absolute value of A equal to 3 will give me two possible values. A is 3 or -3. And that's where this comes in, because since this is a usual sine curve, and when it starts from 0, it is going up. And obviously this also is matching with this, because when it starts from 0, it is going up. So this should be positive because it mimics the sine curve. Had the function was something like starting from 0 and going to negative, maybe probably something like this, then I would have chosen a negative value of it. But in this case, I will choose a positive value. So that should be the answer. So the value of B is 2, the value of A is 3, and the value of D is -1. Likewise, over here, right away, I can say that the value of A should be positive because, it is increasing in this sense. So the value of B will be 2 pi over period. And what is the period? It starts from here and goes all the way till this point. So it starts from 0, goes all the way till 8. So 0 to 8 is just 8. So 2 pi over 8 is pi over 4. Then the value of A will be, I'm not putting absolute value of A because we just concluded that A should be positive. So it should be maximum value, which is 6, minus minimum value, which is -2 over 2. So 8 over 2 is 4. And the value of D will be maximum value plus minimum value divided by 2, which is 4 over 2, which is just 2. So this D is 2, this A is 4, and this value of B is pi over 4. Over here, I can definitely say that A is negative because it starts and it goes down. So it has to be negative. So the value of B first off will be 2 pi over period. And the period is, it starts from pi over 2 and goes all the way till, I think till this point. Then it repeats itself, correct? Yeah. Pi to pi over 2, pi over 2 to pi is just pi over 2. So this is pi over 2. And pi is gone. This comes out as 4. So the value of B is 4. The value of A will be negative. Maximum value minus minimum value divided by 2. Maximum is 20, minimum is -10. So 20 minus -10 divided by 2. So 30 over 2 is 15. So -15. A is -15. And the value of D will be maximum plus minimum divided by 2. Maximum is 20, minimum is -10 divided by 2. So 10 over 2 is just 5. So that's the value of D, A, and B. Okay. Here we have to find that the figure shows the graph of a sinusoidal function. What is the period of it? To start, period and amplitude. So period is obviously, it starts from here and goes all the way as one cycle till here. So the period is definitely pi, so it has to be either A or B. And the amplitude is just the maximum plus minimum divided by 2, right? See, obviously you must be wondering that why is this not negative? Because this is also like starting from the maximum and going all the way down. Okay, see, first off, amplitude is always considered positive, right? Amplitude as an attribute is always written as positive. But I'm talking here about the value of a, which can be positive or negative. For example, in this question, if you ask me what is the amplitude, I will not say negative 15. I'll still say 15. But when I write it as an equation, it will be negative over here, right? So that's why there is no negative sign here. And now I can just safely say that it has to be the maximum value, which is 3, minus minimum value, which is negative 1, over 2, which is 2. So the answer has to be option A. A trigonometric function k has a maximum at this point, and after this maximum, the next minimum occurs at this point. So which of the following is the expression? So I know that the period is, this is the half period, right? Because this is from the maximum going all the way to minimum. So the maximum is 0, 8, and the immediate next minimum is 2 pi, 2. So this is half period. So it has to be another 2 pi, so that 2 pi plus 2 pi will become full period, which is 4 pi. Okay, so let's see in which of these am I getting 4 pi as the period. So I have to do 2 pi over b value, which is 1 over 2. So this is definitely giving me 4 pi. And likewise, this will also give me 4 pi. This will not give me 4 pi, right? This will give me rather pi. So it has to be either A or A or C. Now they're saying that this has to be either a cosine function or a sine function. So as simple as that, right? Just put x as 0 and see which one is giving you 8. If I put x as 0 over here, what is cos 0? Because this becomes 0, right? Cos 0 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 8. So yes, I'm getting 0, 8. But here if I put 0, sine 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So I'm not getting 0, 8. So it has to be option A. Likewise, maximum, the next minimum is given. So pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2 is pi units, and the double of pi is 2 pi. So the period is 2 pi in this case, which is actually in all of them, because 2 pi over 1 is just 2 pi for all of them, right? For the sinusoidal function. Um, okay, how can I, okay, again, I'm gonna put pi over 2 and see which one gives me 30. So if I put pi over 2 over here, cos 90, cos pi over 2 is 0, and 0 plus 20 is 20. So that's not it, because I need 30 over here. If I put pi over 2 here, then this will become 1, and 5 plus 25 is 30. This can be it. If I put here, then cos pi over 2 is 0. 0 plus 25 is 25. That's not it. And here if I put pi over 2, again, yeah, that's also possible, because 10 plus 20 is 30. Now let's try to put 3 pi over 2. If I put 3 pi over 2 over here, it will become negative 1 or negative 5, and negative 5 plus 25 is 20. So yes, this is adding up. If I put over here 3 pi over 2, this will become negative 10 plus 20, which is 10. That's not correct, because I need 20. So the answer has to be option C. Over here, once again, minimum and the next maxima is given. So 0 to 3 pi is the half period. So 6 pi is the full period. This will not give me 6 pi. This will give me 2 pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3. This will give me 6 pi, because 2 pi over 1 over 3 is 6 pi, and 2 pi over 1 over 3 is 6 pi. The only difference is in this value, whether it's 3 or minus 3. So let's plug in 0 and see which one is giving negative 6. So if I plug in 0 here, cos 0 is 1, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. That's not it. If I plug in 0 here, this will become minus 3, which is minus 6. So that's absolutely correct. That's what I needed. In San Diego, the number of daylight hours is dependent on the day of the year. Now, the number of daylight hours can be modeled by this function, where t is the day of the year from t equal to 1 to t equal to 365. Based on the following, based on this model, which of the following is correct? They are asking the minimum daylight saving is this, and maximum. Okay, they are just asking the minimum and the maximum value, right? So I can do that because the minimum value is something that I can find using these two. The minimum value is uh, this value, which is, I mean, if I were to give you a direct formula, let's say A sine B times T minus C plus D, right? That's the general equation. Now, I don't know whether A is positive or negative. I don't know whether D is positive or negative, but the minimum or the maximum, to start with, the maximum is, the formula for maximum is absolute value of A plus D, and the formula for minimum is negative absolute value of A plus D. This is the formula for maximum or minimum of a sinusoidal function. So whether this is a sine function or a cosine function, this is applicable for both. So all we have to do is add 2.4 and 12, because absolute value of 2.4 is also 2.4. So that's 14.4. So 14.4 is the maximum value, which is not making sense because that is not in the options. And the minimum value will be negative 2.4 plus 12, which is, I think, 9.6. So the minimum value is 9.6, which is option C. Over here, we need to write the equation for G over here. Okay, so let's first start with the, I would say with the period, because the general equation is A sine B T minus, or theta minus C plus D. You can write it as A cos as well. It doesn't really matter because both are correct. You will get an equation for both of them. Both are sinusoidal. Let's work for B. So for that, I need the period. So I start from here and I go all the way till actually, sorry, not here. I start from here and go all the way till this point. That's one period, which is 4 pi. So I know that the value of B will become 2 pi over 4 pi, which is 1 over 2. So I got the value of B. Okay, what is the value of A and C? So for that, and also it is starting from 0 and, I mean, starting and climbing. So A should be positive. So A will be the maximum value, which is 4, minus minimum value, which is minus 8 over 2, which is 12 over 2, which is 6. Then I need the value of D, which is maximum value, which is 4, plus minimum value. Minimum value, I think, is negative 8 over 2, which is going to be negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. And since the curve is starting from negative 2, the curve is starting, in other words, from the midline, because midline is D equal to negative 2, the value of C is just 0. Because you can understand it from the fact that whenever I have, for example, y is equal to sine theta. So this does not really have any plus and minus C, right? Because it starts from the midline, which is 0. So whenever a sinusoidal function starts from its midline, the value of C has to be 0, right? So the answer in this case is going to be, let me just make some space here. The answer is going to be A is 6 sine 1 over 2 theta plus the value of D is minus 2. So this is the final answer for the expression, right? Over here we are given an equation and we need to find that which of the following could be the graph. It makes sense that the period, I think, is the first thing, but I think the period is same for all of them. I don't think so. I want to rule this out from period. Let's start at x equal to 0. How's the function giving? What value is the function giving me? At x equal to 0, sine 0 is 0. So this entire thing is 0. And 0 plus 1 is 1. So this is 1. So it should start from 1. So it has to be either this or this. It cannot be 3 or 2. So that's pretty much clear. And I think the period differs for both, because this is like, pi over 4, this is pi. So this one has a period of clearly pi units, and this one has a period of 4 pi units. So the question has a period of 2 pi over b. B is 2, so 2 pi over 2 is just pi. So pi is over here, so it has to be option A. That is the correct choice. Right, over here we can find I think the period, yeah, period differs for the four functions. So let's find the period first. It starts from 0 and the one cycle is completed here. So the period is pi. So the value of b will be 2 pi over pi, which is just 2. So this is not it. This and other three can be the answers because it has a 2 over here, right? So the three can be the answers. Okay, if you're thinking that it starts from the midline and it is climbing up, it has to be a positive 2. Don't be mistaken, because although I told you this strategy and that's how we answered or figured out the signs of A in these three questions, but remember, this is only applicable when there is no C inside, right? There's no C inside attached to the theta. If there is a C, then unfortunately the strategy cannot really be applied directly. So my recommendation is maybe we can put some random numbers and see which one adds up, because this is 90 degree. So this has to be 30, this has to be 60. Let's try to put 30 degree and see which one is giving a number around this. Okay, so this will be 2 sine 2 times 30 degree minus 90 degree, 30 degree minus 90 degree plus 1. So 2 sine, this is minus 60. Minus 60 times 2 is minus 120 degree. What is the reference of, by the way, sine is an odd function, so negative 2 comes out. So negative 2 sine of 120 plus 1. Sine of 120, what is the reference for 120? That's 60 degrees. So that's going to be negative 2 sine of 60 degree, because in 120 sine is positive, it's in quadrant 2, and sine 60 is root 3 over 2. 2 times root 3 over 2 is root 3. So minus root 3 plus 1 will give me a negative number, which cannot be the answer because clearly this is positive. Let's try this one, 30 degree. The only difference is this is the negative, right? Except that everything is same. So this will become negative over here. So actually this will become negative. So double negative will become positive here. So the answer will be root 3 plus 1, which is like 2.73 around, right? Because root 3 is 1.73. So this can be an answer. Let's try this one as well. Here I have negative 2 times sine of 30 minus 180 is negative 150 plus 1. Negative 150, negative comes out, so double negative is positive. So 2 sine 300 plus 1. Sine 300 has a reference of sine 60, and that should be negative as well, because in sine 300 is in quadrant 4. So 2 times negative sine of 60 plus 1. Sine 60 is root 3 over 2. So this is again negative root 3 plus 1, which is a negative number. So this also cannot be the answer. So it has to be option C. That is the best choice. Okay, the graph H and its dashed midline with two full cycles are shown. The 5 points are given to us. We have to write H in this form. Okay, so F starts from 0, 7. That's the starting point, 0, 7. And then this is 3, 3. And then this is 6, negative 1. Then this is 9, 3. And then this is 12, 7. Okay. So clearly from here to here we have a period, so 0 to 12, that is the period, right? So the period B is 2 pi over 12, which is pi over 6. That's for sure. All right. Uh, Now what will be the value of A and D? I think we can figure out the maximum and minimum. Maximum is 7, minimum is negative 1. So absolute value of A, because we don't know whether that's a positive or negative unless we figure out that C is 0. So let's first find out what is and C will be 0 if it starts at the what do you call it as? A midline, because this is a sine function. So let's find the value of d first. D will be maximum plus minimum over 2. Maximum is 7, minimum is negative 1 over 2, which is 3, right? 6 over 2 is 3. So unfortunately, no, this is not really starting from 3. So C is not 0. So let's box this up and keep it aside. What will be the value of amplitude? The amplitude is going to be absolute value of A is going to be maximum plus minimum divided by 2. Sorry, maximum minus minimum divided by 2. So maximum minus minimum divided by 2 is 4. So absolute value of A is 4. So A can be plus 4 or minus 4. Both are allowed, and according to that, we need to choose the value of C. Let's take A as 4, because A can be minus 4 as well. If you change A to minus 4, C will come accordingly. If you change A to 4, then C will come accordingly. So there will be two answers. We just need one answer, so I'm just taking A as 4. Right, so assuming that we take A as 4, we will have the value of, or equation of H as 4 sine pi over 6 t plus c plus 3. And now we can just put the initial point and figure out what is the value of c accordingly. So h is 7, so 7 is equal to 4 sine pi over 6 t plus c, not t plus c, t is 0, right, because time is 0. So that's 0 plus c, 0 plus c plus 3. I'm going to need more space here, so okay, so 7 minus 3 is 4, subtracting 3 by both the sides. So 4 is equal to 4 sine pi over 6c, dividing 4 both the sides. So 1 is equal to sine pi over 6c, and sine is 1 when the angle is pi over 2. So the entire angle, as in pi over 6c, is pi over 2. So these two are cancelled, so the value of c comes out as positive 3. So these are the values of A, B, C, and D, all the four values. I hope that makes sense. That's the same question. Okay, this one is, that's the same question, right? Oh no, that is not the, oh yeah, different question number, but same question. So we are going to skip this. Over here, the same strategy, we have 0, comma 20, and then pi, comma 16. Is the midline, and then 2 pi 20, sorry, 2 pi 12, 3 pi 16, and 4 pi comma 20. So I think midline and amplitude can also be found in a very in a different way, in an easy way rather, because this is the midline, right? 16. So this is the value of D, just 16. And the value of A will be, from here you can say that A is the distance between the midline and the maximum, which can be 4. 4 or minus 4, let's take it as 4. What is the period? Period is definitely 4 pi. So the value of B will be 2 pi over 4 pi, which is 1 over 2. So what will be the equation? A is 4 sine 1 over 2 t plus c plus 16. This is the h, and like I said, just put the value initial point here and get the value of c. So the initial point is 0, 20. So 20 is equal to 4 sine 1 over 2 t plus c plus 16, subtracting 16 both the sides. So 4 is equal to 4 sine 1 over 2 t plus c, dividing 4 both the sides. So 1 is equal to sine 1 over 2 t plus c. So 1 over 2 t. Why am I writing c again and again? Because I have to replace, sorry, why am I writing t again and again? Because t is just 0, right? So this has to be 0, 0. This has to be just c. So this is c, this is 0, this is 0. And this means that the inside thing, half of c, should be equal to pi over 2, because sine pi over 2 is 1, right? So the value of c comes out as pi. So we have c, we have b, and we already have the value of a, which is 4. The value of D is 16. And then the next one, 15, I've added here. So once again, the same strategy. I think the midline is going to be -1 because that is G and K. So that's the value of D. And from -1 to the F is 2. So this is 3. So A has to be 3 or -3. Let's take it as 3. And the period is going to be from F to K. From F, it is pi over 2 K, sorry, F to P, I misspoke. F to P. F is pi over 2, P is 3 pi over 2, so that's pi. So the value of B will be 2 pi over period, which is pi, which is 2. Another value of C. So the equation is H is equal to 3 sine 2t plus C minus 1. And let's take the F coordinates, which is 2 comma pi over 2. So 2 is equal to 3 sine 2 pi over 2 plus C minus 1. Adding 1 both the sides, so 3 is equal to 3 sine 2 pi over 2 plus C. Dividing 3 both the sides, 1 is equal to 1 is equal to sine 2 times, I think I can distribute 2 inside. So 2 times pi over 2 is pi and 2 times 1 is 2. And if sine of something is 1, that something has to be, what are we solving for? Sorry, this is not 1, this is C. Okay, sorry, my bad. So pi plus 2C, okay. Pi plus 2C has to be pi over 2 because if sine of something is 1, that something has to be pi over 2. It can be some other values as well, but that's the smallest value. So 2C is equal to, subtracting pi both the sides, is minus pi over 2. So C is negative pi over 4. So this is the value of C over here. That should be our answer.